The meeting is called to order. We'll give you a sneak preview of the agenda. Trustee Holt.
Speak into the mic.
Trustee Holt will be making some open remarks. We have our attorney that will subsequently follow him. Mr. Josh, representative from Walmart, is here also, and he will also be making some remarks. Subsequently, we'll take public comment, not to exceed 2 minutes, and so there will be decorum preserved. I want to just let you know that. Trustee Holt.
Good evening. My name is Stan Holt. I'm a town trustee and mayor pro tem. I asked the mayor for a few minutes at the beginning of this meeting to clear up a few misunderstandings and present some facts concerning Walmart's coming into Pagosa Springs. Back in 2009, the town was operating under excessively restrictive land use codes concerning big box development. In February 2010, the town council desired to remove some of the overbearing regulations that we had enacted. However, some residents, not desiring a big box, forced an election on the matter in April 2010. And this was a good thing. The residents, by 19 votes, less than 2-to-1 margin, approved the removal of the restrictions that we had requested. The residents of Pagosa Springs had spoken. So bottom line, what does this all mean? The county has no unreasonable restrictions concerning big box development. By removing our overzealous restrictions, we just put the town on the same footing as the county. A big box store could have located in the county all along. But now, because of the vote, they could locate in the town as well. In 2011, Walmart started looking at properties. The first property they looked at was in the county, on Vista Boulevard. Due to wetlands and other issues, they ended up choosing a town property. Otherwise, they might have built in the county. The town had no part in Walmart's choice of a location. As they looked at all available commercial property and made their decision to suggest that 14% of the total population, i.e. the town, was responsible for making a decision that negatively affects everyone in the county is absurd. The decision if and when to build a store here rests entirely with Walmart. And to subject our mayor to all kinds of verbal abuse and indignities, as some people in this community have done, is just flat out wrong. And now, as we go into this meeting, I hope that we can conduct ourselves in a civil manner with respect for all. Thank you very much.
Next item on the agenda is Mr. Cole, our legal representative.
I've been asked to make some comments on the public process associated with land use.
We're having trouble hearing here. You can be sure this, maybe send somebody out and make sure this complies now.
Excuse me real quick, there's a lot of folks that want to hear what's going on, and it seems that not a lot of people can really hear what's going on. There's a lot of spacing between these chairs. It seems like they could be pushed up a little bit. There's all kinds of room up here that we can kind of crowd in this room if that's what we have to do. But there's a lot of folks that are interested, and that's why we showed up here. I didn't show up here just to stand here, I showed up to listen. So if we could maybe try to make that happen in one way or another.
Yeah. Why don't we try to make as much of it as we can and try to get some of these folks in.
Are we allowed to have signs in here? No. Are we allowed to have signs in here? You don't need any signs. Well, no, but these people have some in here. I'm asking if there's some here.
As long as they don't block anybody's view, which means they can't.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start speaking, and we can just kind of try to get as many people in as we can. There is a limit to what we can pack in this room, and it looks like we're just about there. So I was asked to comment on the public process associated with land use decisions related to the Aspen Park development, and specifically the property that is under consideration tonight. The starting point there is the zoning that applies to the property. The zoning is a mixed-use commercial zone. That's a decision that was made previously. And as with any straight zoning, there are certain rights that are guaranteed with that zoning. It's called use by rights. The property owner has the ability to use their property for any of the purposes that are listed as permitted for the zone district that they have their property within. This property, as mixed-use commercial, has a use by right for retail uses, including retail uses over 4,000 square feet. So that is not a decision that even is before the town if Walmart chooses to go forward with this. That is a use by right. There's some minor modifications to the site that may come into play. Those are mostly going to be under the town code administrative processes. All of the decisions that would be made have to be made under specific criteria listed in the code, and the discretion in making those decisions are confined by that criteria. The real public process for this use came in 2010, and as Trustee Holt was discussing, that process started really in 2009. Well, actually, it started in 2006 when the council at that point in time put in place some regulations that limited the size of retail uses within the town. So that was in 2006. And in 2009, the council began reconsidering that set of regulations, and they moved to repeal the regulations. It resulted in a lawsuit that was filed against the town. As part of the settlement of that lawsuit, it was agreed that a referendum petition could go forward to call that matter to a vote. The vote was held in April of 2010, and the vote, while it was in technical terms a vote on whether the regulations that limited large-scale retail development should be repealed, was really a referendum on whether big box uses should be allowed within the town. So that vote in April 2010 that was held in conjunction with a council election, 251 of you, or your neighbors and former neighbors, voted to support repealing the regs, which was a vote in support of big box uses within the town, and 135 people opposed. Now, I understand that there's some question about whether that process and that vote was really a public consideration of whether this was a big box oriented set of regulations and whether that was a decision that did or didn't allow big box. And I think it was the general understanding. You can ask yourselves that and answer it better perhaps than I can. But in terms of the publicity around the matter, there was no question that the vote was a vote on whether you should allow big box uses in the town. As I went back through and looking at headlines in the Pagosa Sun on the articles related to this whole process, it was very clear that the publicity related to big box. And I'd just like to read a few of those so you can, maybe for those that were around during that time period, will remember this discussion. So on June 23rd, 2009, the headline was "Town Considers Big Box Changes." Later that month, the headline, "Big Box Regs on the Way Out." In October, big box suit filed, so it was clear that there was litigation that was challenging the council's decision to open up the regulations to allow the big box developments. Then in November, the headline, "Voters could decide big box regulations." Actually says regs. In December, suit settled out of court. Big box referendum petition circulated. In December again, big box could go to a vote. January 6th, town council says yes to big box vote. That's when the council agreed that the matter should be brought to the voters. Let the citizens decide the issue. March 25th of 2010, town voters will decide big box regulations. And then just after the election in April 7, 2010, remember this was combined with a town council election. The headline, "Aragon wins mayor race, yes on big box referendum." So the public process really was at that period of time to consider whether this regulation that allows the big box should be in place, and the voters decided at that point that it should. Trustee Holt just handed me a copy of the referendum that was on the ballot at that election, and it read, "Shall the town of Pagosa Springs repeal the large retail development permit requirements as contained in section 2.4.5 of the town of Pagosa Springs Land Use and Development Code and the large retail development permit section of the Land Use and Development Code's user manual. A yes vote will eliminate specific procedures that apply only to development of large retail developments. A no vote will continue the existing specific procedures." So again, that's the real public process that comes into play on this decision. In terms of discretion, the voters had the discretion at that point, and they indicated that they wanted the regulations repealed that would allow this kind of development to come forward. The zoning currently allows it as a use by right. Mr. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Cole. Mr. Josh, representative from Walmart.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, members of council, citizens who are here tonight. I know that a lot of people want to speak tonight, so I'm going to be very quick and shorter, I guess. I am here. There we go. We wanted to be present tonight for really three specific reasons. The first and foremost is to listen. We understand and appreciate that everybody in this room, no matter where you fall on this issue, cares deeply about the community. We're here to collect constructive feedback and thoughts about how you'd like to see this store proceed, what sort of elements you'd like to see within the store, whether that be specific merchandise, specific design elements, those types of things, and how we can be a store of the community. We expect 200 residents of Pagosa Springs and the surrounding areas to work in this store, and so we want to make sure that that store reflects the community in every way that we can. So we are here simply to listen, collect, again, constructive feedback, and also clear up any misperceptions that there may be. Trustee Holt touched on a couple of things that have been kind of circulating around. I wanted to touch on a couple more right up front real quickly. And then certainly as the evening progresses, if there are other things where we may have a difference in factual understanding, I'll speak at the end as well. But the first thing is that Walmart has not accepted or pursued any special incentives through the town, and we also do not plan to. This will be completely constructed on our own, and we also aren't aware of any incentives that we would be eligible for through the town. So there won't be any special deals cut, nor are there any expected as a result of this project. The second piece is, and Trustee Holt alluded to it a little bit, there have been no inappropriate or secret meetings between the company and the town. My first interaction with Mayor Aragon and the rest of the council was on January 3rd, which is when most of you met me as well. So I know those are two things that have been sort of circulating and a question, so I wanted to address those immediately, and certainly look forward to the comments tonight, and hope that we can have a constructive dialogue this evening. So thank you very much for all of you being here, and now certainly look forward to opening the floor to all of you.